Holy smokes! Spider-Man 3 is going to be an absolutely packed film from the sounds of it. First, we hear we're getting Electro. Now we're apparently getting Doc Ock. Couple this with the possibility of us maybe getting multiple Spider-Men, and this might just be the biggest superhero film since Endgame. Just absolutely massive. And how can you make this film even more stupendous? By just going all out and giving us the full-on Sinister Six. Wait. Sinister Six? The Sinister Six mixed in with the rumored Spider-Verse storyline? There is so much going on there, how could they possibly fit it all? Well, that's what I'm going to be taking a look at today in this very video. So sit back and relax as I explore what might just be in store for us with Spider-Man 3. Let's go ahead and dive right into it. Alright, so I'll just try to contain all of my excitement with all of the rumors and everything that we're hearing about. Speaking of which, let's start this video off by talking about the news and rumors so we can set the stage properly for what is possibly coming down the pipeline. Obviously, we've pretty much all heard at this point that Jamie Foxx is returning as Electro, a role he played in 2014's The Amazing Spider-Man 2. This news pretty well set the MCU fandom world on fire, with people taking this as some sort of a confirmation that Spider-Man 3 was going to include some multiversal hijinks. However, our parades were pretty well rained upon when it was revealed that he was playing, in fact, not the exact same blue-skinned villain from before, but a different version of Electro. Okay, so that's a bummer, but at least it doesn't completely shut things down, especially when we heard that Alfred Molina was going to be appearing in the film, taking on the role of Dr. Otto Octavius, the same character he played in Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2. No word yet on if it is the exact same character from that film, but I kinda find it doubtful, considering what happened to him at the end of it, but you know, never really know until the movie comes out. Couple all of that with the rumors we are hearing of multiple actors from previous iterations of Webhead joining the cast, and it is really looking like we are getting a live-action Spider-Verse film, which is pretty flippin' awesome. But wait a minute, Screen Guy, isn't this video supposed to be about the Sinister Six? Well, here's what I'm thinking. You know the movie Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse? Something about that movie that not a lot of people talk about when it is brought up is how the movie actually has a surprising amount of villains. Kingpin, Doc Ock, Prowler, Tombstone, Green Goblin, and Scorpion all play a part in the plot of the film. Some roles are obviously bigger than others. I mean, Green Goblin is only there for a little bit at the beginning, but it is simply chocked full of baddies. 6 of them, in fact. Now, admittedly, that roster of villains isn't the typical roster that fans are used to. Within the comics, the Sinister Six is most famously made up of Doc Ock, Kraven the Hunter, Mysterio, Vulture, Electro, and Sandman. A bunch of others have slotted in here and there, including Green Goblin, Scorpion, and even Venom. So it still kind of fits. But anyways, back on topic, that film managed to include a lot of villains because there were a lot of heroes to counter them. So, speculation time. What if the entire reason why Spider-Man 3 will feature more Spider-Men is due to Peter Parker needing help dealing with the Sinister Six? Imagine this. A villain comes along looking to get a hold of Peter Parker after the whole being framed for Mysterio's murder thing. This as of yet unknown villain, probably Vulture for reasons I'll get to, figures out a way to open up portals across the multiverse, pulling in villains from different worlds, assembling a team, assembling a Sinister Six, made up of Doc Ock and Electro, as well as probably a few others that we haven't heard confirmations about yet. Venom, anyone? And so, to deal with its influx of villains who are far more experienced taking on Spider-Man by the way, Peter goes to Doctor Strange, who is confirmed to be taking part in the movie, and asks him if he can help out with the situation. He obliges and brings forward a slew of different Spider-Men, including the ones from Sam Raimi's trilogy and the Amazing Spider-Man duology. And this leads to an all-out brawl between the Spider-Men and this iteration of the Sinister Six. Now, I mentioned offhandedly earlier that this team was probably being brought together by Vulture, and I have a bit of a theory about this. See, during a recent episode of the podcast that I helped produce for this channel, it's called Behind the Screen by the way, and you should totally check it out, just saying. We were discussing Spider-Man 3, and it was proposed that the upcoming Morbius film takes place not within Sony's universe of Marvel characters, hereby referred to as the SMU by the way, but within the MCU proper, and that Michael Keaton's Adrian Toomes is going to appear to recruit Morbius for the Sinister Six. Now what I think is going down is this. He will recruit the vampiric doctor to help him use old Chitauri tech to build a device that can open doorways to other worlds, such as the SMU itself, bridging the universes and assembling their team. This kinda makes sense actually. as Vulture is smart but not exactly technologically minded, and Morbius is one of the brightest scientists in the Marvel Universe, so he'd be somebody potentially capable of doing this. Eventually, the doors between the universes will close, probably trapping Morbius in the SMU where he belongs, potentially with Spider-Man in tow since, Sony really wants him to fight Venom. Either way, this will give us not only the Spider-Verse film that we want, but the Sinister Six team-up that Sony seems hell-bent to give us. So boom, 2 spiders with 1 stone. I for one am super excited to see what this third Spider-Man film has in store for us. And who knows, maybe we'll get some villains or heroes that we weren't expecting. How cool would it be to see Miles Morales pop up in the movie? Or Miguel O'Hara, aka Spider-Man 2099? The possibilities are incredibly exciting, and I just simply cannot wait